welcome to this holistic voice practice. My name is Kirsty from Holistic Music, and I'm going to be your guide in this practice. We're going to work through a few vocal techniques in a call and response format with this awesome Shruti box here. If you are new to singing, don't worry, I will guide you all along the way. If you have some experience with singing, you are welcome to vary any of the exercises or sort of do anything extra that you want to do with the practice. I'm going to go through a few vocal techniques, and we're just going to explore developing the voice in sort of a creative call and response format together. Throughout the practice, I will offer you some options to explore with your voice, because everybody's voice is different and you may be experiencing something different to, the way that I'm singing or the way that anybody else might sing. So this is really about you and connecting with your body and your voice and where you're at today. Through this practice, we really want to make sure that we are fully accepting of where our voice and our body is at today, knowing that with the engagement with this practice, there is always that forward motion and always that development happening. And wherever you're at today is 100% okay. So we're going to dive in. We're going to do a little bit of warm up with some slides, with what we call sirens. So in these slides, I just encourage you to try and feel the sound up the front of your face. So in your nose, in your lips, in your teeth, trying to make that sound feel sort of buzzy. We're going to do this with a hum. So hums are naturally buzzy anyway. But we'll get started. So we're going to slide the voice up and down. Just got to go as high as your voice can go and as low as your voice can go. It doesn't have to be as high as me or as low as me. And please take breaths when you need to. And again, that doesn't have to be at the same time as me. It can be any time you need to. Okay, let's sing. So hopefully you can feel the sound that you're making in the hum, and hopefully you can also notice, and if you can't, then perhaps you can start to sort of tune in and see if you can notice the way the sound moves through your body as you hum. So you might notice as it gets higher, it moves up in the body or in the head, and as it moves lower, it might move lower in the body. So just see if you can tune into the physical sensation of the sound as you're making that sound. Let's do a few more. One more. All right. So that exercise is really like a stretch for the voice. It's a really great way to get your vocal cords vibrating and moving and sort of what I like to say, blowing off the cobwebs. So we're going to go into a little round of exercise with our chest voice at the moment, and this is your lower part of your range. I should mention, if you have a lower voice, if you're a male, for example, and you have a lower voice, you might want to sing the next range down from where I am. So sing somewhere that's really comfortable comfortably low in your voice. So it may not be the exact same pitch as me. It might be the next octave down. Just somewhere really comfortable. And if you have a higher voice, then you will probably be able to sing at the same pitch as me. Okay. We're going to go into a syllable of ma, and this syllable is really good because it's got that M in it, and that can really help us connect to that buzzy kind of feeling up the front of the face. So see if you can try and continue focusing on that feeling while we open up to a ma syllable. So I'm going to sing a phrase, just a few notes, and I'll sing it twice. The first time, just listen. I'll be pointing at myself and just listen to that one. And then when I extend my hand out like this, that's when it's time for you to sing along with me. So it gives you a chance to tune in and listen and to also sing. Okay. Ma, 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 So all along the way in a holistic voice practice, we are always tuning in and noticing how things feel, because it's that feeling that gives us the information we need to progress on our singing journey. Because, you know, our voices, we can't see what's going on in our voice. We can only feel it and hear it. So those two cues are super, super important. But I consider the feeling aspect as even more important, because it's actually giving us a much more reliable indication of what's really going on in our voice. So the feeling is number one, in my opinion. Okay, so we're going to go up into the higher range now, and this is what we call the head voice. And we're going to use a different syllable here. So this is the U syllable. And think about this as sort of like you're happily surprised. Ooh! Like someone just gave you a delicious chocolate cake. Ooh! Ooh! Or any other kind of delight, right? You're delighted. And that sort of shape, that expression that it gives our face, creates a shape of the vowel, which is really conducive to this higher range and our head voice. So let's do a few phrases up there. You. So let's have a little check-in. How does your voice feel? Does it feel breathy? Does it feel clear? Does it feel easy to sing in this part of your range, or does it feel a little challenging? Remember, wherever your voice is at today is 100% okay, but we're just noticing, because from that noticing we can find out what things that we can do. So if your voice is feeling breathy, that's okay. In singing, we sometimes want a breathy sound, but sometimes we want a clear sound as well, and we want to have that choice. So in developing our voices, we work towards a clear sound so that we can have that choice to make when we are going into our more expressive singing, and we can switch between breathy and clear sounds depending on the moment and depending on how we feel. So if your tone feels breathy, I recommend trying reducing the volume a little bit. That can actually take some of the breathiness out. And also think about creating a really tall, like even open the jaw a little bit, even though you're on an ooh, ooh, make it a really tall ooh. And if your sound is clear, perhaps you could try increasing the volume a little bit, if that's appropriate, if it's not too loud already, to see if you can build up a little more strength in this clear sound. So those are your options for wherever you're at today. Let's continue. One other thing, as we get higher, just let your jaw drop a little bit so that you can create a bit more space for the sound and for your voice to work in this higher area. So when we bring head voice lower, it can start to feel a little bit weaker. And that's because it's starting to come into what is naturally the chest voice range, or the lower range. So if it felt that way, then that's perfectly normal. So now we're going to work a little bit on coordination. And you might notice, if you're a beginner at singing, or you haven't really done much technique training with singing before, you might notice when you start in chest voice or your lower voice and you start trying to move higher, there's a little clunk, like a ah. There's like a flip that happens there. So that's totally normal, and that happens in everybody's voice until they learn how to navigate that a little more smoothly. And that's what we do in our coordination exercises, is we learn to navigate that. So what we're going to do is we are going to actually start high and move down, and then we're going to start low and move up. And this kind of going high to low and low to high can really help us learn to smooth out that clunky area in the middle. And just keep in mind, if your voice is clunky and it doesn't stop being clunky, that's totally fine. Like, don't worry about that. The exercises are designed to help. And sometimes they help right away, and sometimes it takes a while. So, wherever you're at is 100% okay. Okay, so the thing that really helps with this is creating a very nasal, buzzy, kind of whiny sound. So you can think of this as, you can think of it as nasal, or you might even think of a person that you know that speaks with this kind of a voice. And in Australia, we actually have people that talk like that quite a bit. And I think in every culture and country, there's probably versions of that. So you can use that, like that approximation of that sort of sound to help you hear. But it really does help to strengthen the voice and to navigate this challenging area in the middle. And I just want to also mention that with these exercises, we're operating primarily in the physical dimension here in this practice. So we are really working with vocal techniques and the physicality of these techniques. And we call these functional exercises. So it's like going to the gym and doing some bicep curls or some push-ups or some crunches or Pilates core exercises. These are really functional exercises to help the voice balance out. This is not the final destination. So I'm not teaching you to sing like a whiny person. We're just using this sound to help the voice learn to coordinate itself better. And then we take it further into a more rounded, blended sound that we like. So just bear with me in this sound and play with it. Be playful, humorous with this kind of sound, yeah? And receive from it what it has to offer, which is quite a lot, actually. So we're going to start high. Let's actually establish this first. Let's go. And you can put your finger on your nose to help you feel where to feel the sound the most, yeah? You can even scrunch up your nose, that can help. All right, so once you've got that established, let's sing it. So with this particular sound, it's when we're up high, it feels like we're really going into that kind of nasal, buzzy sound. And when we're low, sometimes we can lock into a really heavy chest voice with that. So if we're going from low to high, which we're about to do, we want to start a little bit softer so that we don't get locked in and then hit the ceiling that we can't get past. So we're going to start softer, and we're going to then get more nasal as we get higher. So, nya, 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 nya. 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 All right. So however that was for you today, totally fine. Just remember, you can continue to come back to this practice and you may find that that's starting to evolve and develop over time. Now we're just going to do a final little practice, singing around from low to high and see how our voices feel now after doing those exercises. Ya, ya, ya. 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 just invite you to close your eyes and just notice how you feel. Notice all of the spaces within you that sound has vibrated and opened up. You may feel sort of like a tingling in your nose or in your throat, maybe even in your mouth. Just tune into those internal spaces, into your mouth, your nose, your throat, your chest, your head. And just feel, do you feel any kind of expansion or movement? And again, whatever you feel is 100% okay. And if you can't find any feelings at the moment, that's also 100% okay. In the practice, we deepen our awareness and, we start from wherever we are. So in this practice today, we have mostly focused on the physical dimension of our vocal practice. In holistic music and holistic voice, I talk about all of the dimensions of the self within music and within a voice practice. But when we're working with vocal techniques and working on developing and conditioning our physical body for singing, we're working within the physical dimension. We're also working a little bit in the mental dimension because I'm singing musical patterns to you that you then have to hear and remember and sort of like process before you can sing them back to me. And that's a really, really important aspect of music. So we are sort of doing a little bit of a ear training practice at the same time as we're doing a vocal technique practice. But we're doing it in this creative context as well, where we get to explore the musical landscape in a guided way. We haven't talked much about the emotional and the spiritual dimensions of a music practice in this video here. I will be doing that in more videos to come. And also in my holistic voice workshops, free workshops, and also my paid classes, we dive much, much deeper into the emotional and spiritual dimensions of our vocal practice, which are, endlessly delightful and juicy and, really are the engine and the motivation and the drive for our vocal practice, really, because ultimately what we're doing here is we are developing, our physical voice so that it can be fully available and fully open to the emotional and spiritual expression that we want to share with our voices. So I invite you to stick around, subscribe to my channel. Please give this video a like if it's helped you, because then it might help somebody else. If the algorithm picks it up and shows it around to people on YouTube, it would be really great, because I believe that a vocal practice is for everybody, no matter where you're at. And it's for you first, not for anybody else, not for performance, at least not to start with. It is for you and for our connection with ourselves, and to find out more about who we are through our voices, which, is really our birthright and available to all of us. So thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you in another practice. Have a beautiful week.